What officials across the country say about the short and long-term effects.
Plus, are you prepared to have the conversation with your parents or grandparents about death? A new board game developed through research at the University of New England aims to help you with that.
How do you feel about a dog crate which blocks noise so your dog, let's say for instance, wouldn't be able to hear the outside fireworks? It would be noise canceling. We'll tell you about it. This is News Center now.
Hello everyone and welcome to News Center Now. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. Happy Wednesday to you. So I got a flood watch advisory today on my phone for something that's not going to happen for another 48 hours anyway. So there's some wet weather coming. KC is going to talk about that and more as we take our first look at the forecast.
And remember, people are like, you can't get it right 2 days in advance.
Yeah.
Coco, your hair is going to look great by the time your segment's ready.
A little behind the scenes for you guys.
Hair looks on point. You're all good. All right, temperatures today into the mid-30s along the coastline, 20s in the mountains, so a recovery versus yesterday, which was much colder and windier. Quiet, though, nothing going on. A sunny day for most of us. And tomorrow will be sunny through the first half of the day before clouds increase in the afternoon. Quiet across the entire northeast and down into the mid-Atlantic. But if we zoom out, we see our next storm system, which is going to be to our south and southwest. So hour-by-hour forecast overnight tonight is quiet. Notice temperatures don't really drop very much, and that has to do with the air mass change that's taking place that will be noticeable during the day tomorrow. So yeah, we'll drop a few degrees, but we're in the upper 20s here, right around 30 degrees by tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow we get to around 40 degrees along the coastline in the afternoon. Start with sun, end up with clouds late afternoon into early evening, and then our next storm system does move in. As Lee alluded to, already a flood watch up for half of the state, at least in the other half of the state should have it issued shortly. That's because of this big area of moisture that's going to move up to the north and east towards us, and this will be all rain. Guys, a couple of inches of rain, and one other factor too, wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So we'll talk timing in just a few minutes.
Aki, thank you very much, sir. So kids at Memorial Middle School, which is in South Portland, will not be back in the building for now a third day this week after a flood in the school's boiler room knocked out all the heat in the school, which is obviously not good.
During that flood on Monday, oil spilled, and while staff and contractors cleaned up the mess, the boilers failed again Tuesday afternoon, causing odors from the oil to spread into the school. Administrators closed school again today to fix that problem, but not before a few kids reported feeling sick from the vapors.
So we're talking about an oil spill, we're talking about kids in a school, obviously a lot of parents and kids concerned. Chris Costa here now. What is the school going to do to keep the kids safe first and foremost?
Well, the first step is to have a half day tomorrow. The 6th graders are going to have classes at the high school. The 7th and 8th graders are going to see a play. Now, the Maine Department of Environmental Protection is constantly monitoring the air levels throughout the school to make sure it's safe for kids to come back into the building. Some kids felt sick because of the fumes, and now school staff are doing everything they can to get it back to normal. 7th grader Ryan Phipps is home playing video games, but he's not on winter vacation just yet.
One of my friends, he said that his nose was like, it felt that it was burning.
Ryan also got a headache Tuesday at school, possibly from fumes spreading into the school after a flood and oil spill in the school's boiler room. His mother, Julie, was concerned, but not angry.
I'm sure in the situation the school did the best they could. They obviously can't plan for this sort of thing to happen.
Now crews are working to flush out the fumes and fix the boilers permanently.
When those boilers weren't working, that's when we noticed more odors in the building. I have a crew down there right now working on the boilers to make sure that they're not just patched, but fixed.
Some parents were concerned about their children being in a building with the fumes. According to the Maine Department of Environmental Protection, short-term exposure does not cause long-term health effects.
A noxious odor is not fun. Our testing so far has shown that it's not at an unsafe level, but it certainly is at an uncomfortable level.
Headaches, dizziness, and nausea are common. The DEP is still sampling the air in the building, adding ventilation to the boiler room and removing any sources of petroleum. Now parents hope their kids will be back in school before the winter break.
I'm not angry, by any means. I think the school was doing the best they could with a bad situation.
Now, the superintendent says he's not sure what the total cost will be, but they're hoping to recover as much of it as possible through insurance. But back to the health effects, officials in Maine and Wisconsin both say it would take years of exposure to fumes like these to cause any serious long-term effects, and that typically fresh air can solve any of the short-term issues like the headaches or the dizziness. The superintendent hopes that winter break will give enough time for all of the building to be aired out and get everything back to normal.
Well, I mean, in that regard, the timing of it's actually pretty good because, you know, there's really 1.5 more days for them, and then it's another week and a half off anyway.
The kids are probably so ready for break anyway at this point.
I can tell you the parents are not. They're like, I need my kid in school.
Yeah, good point.
So,
all right. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Taking a look at other headlines today, a U.S. official says the Trump administration will withdraw all of the approximately 2,000 American troops from Syria. President Trump is declaring victory in the mission to defeat the Islamic State militants there. The official says planning for the pullout has begun and troops will begin leaving as soon as possible. The idea has not been popular among U.S. military leaders or leading Republican senators.
Governor-elect Janet Mills announced another historic nomination today. Mills announced she will nominate Judy Camuso, the director of the Wildlife Division at the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, to serve as the agency's next commissioner, which would make her the first female to hold that position. We'll have much more about that hiring coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Texting 911. Would you feel comfortable doing it if you were in an emergency? We're taking a closer look at that because Maine has now upgraded technology all across the state. So check out how it would work. There's a total of 24 PSAPs, or public safety answering points, across the state that's equipped with this technology. Before, only 2 of them received text for the entire state when the technology was first introduced back in 2014. If you sent that text in an emergency, it now can be received locally to every location to dispatch police or fire personnel to you more quickly.
Officials say a text should only be used when making a voice call is not an option. It's also to help those who are deaf, hearing, or speech impaired get help, or in the instance of a home invasion or abduction.
I think it's great that the state had the vision to get the latest technology in next-gen 911 to begin with. And secondly, you couple that with the service that they're now able to offer for those folks that are deaf or disabled, hard of hearing. And this is a wonderful service that we be able to provide to all of the citizens in Cumberland County and throughout the state.
So we want to know what you guys think about this. So comment right now at our Facebook and YouTube live streams. And if you have any questions, use the hashtag #AskNow. Bates College is receiving a big grant to help study mass shootings in America. The college received a nearly $500,000 grant from the research arm of the U.S. Department of Justice. Bates criminologist Michael Roque and 2 co-investigators will work to create a comprehensive and systematic data set to study mass shootings in this country. Roque says, quote, "We can actually build some strong empirical evidence, a foundation to actually start talking about these things, and maybe we can move forward in a way that actually helps make society safer."
Also on Facebook, we're looking at what you were saying. Melanie Rose commented, "This is great. Can't wait to see and learn from the data." Michael J. Anthony on the other side of the fence, though, says it would be nice if some of this money would go to addressing the violence in Lewiston, where Bates is located. We don't struggle with mass shootings. We do struggle with intercommunal and interracial violence, domestic violence, and violence done to the poor and homeless by police, landlords, and hateful individuals. Well, Christmas hasn't even come and gone yet, and millions of returns are already pouring in. UPS is calling today National Returns Day. It's estimated that the shipping giant will process about 1.5 million returned packages. It's the busiest return day of the fall before Christmas for the first time. The second wave of returns will be expected January 3rd. About 1.3 million packages go back on that day. Experts say the spike ahead of Christmas is driven in part by self-gifting due to retailer promotions, as well as express shipping for deliveries, as well as returns.
Self-gifting.
Yeah, what'd you get yourself? Anything good?
Well, I ordered this dress I'm wearing on consignment, and I didn't realize, I got it for like $15, and I didn't realize it had these cool arms.
I like that.
Yeah, I put it on.
There's
today,
room for
like,
more.
whoa.
Like if more people had arms, there's plenty of room. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And you're pretty good about sharing your food with me, but not now because I'm trying to be healthy. But a lot of you were hungry out there today. That's what's happening.
Oh.
Grilling in the wintertime. Does
Always.
it get any better?
No, I did it this weekend. I took pictures of it. I was all excited. maple steak for the football game on Sunday, which I actually don't want to talk about. Oh, it's crock pot season.
Galore.
Crock pots are the best. You put it in, you come back 8 hours later, it's done. Like, it's
know.
just the best invention out there.
It really is. Okay, what do we have going on here?
The customer gets you goodies, but you're on a diet. Did you post this, Lindsay?
I didn't.
We've had so many awesome snacks, and Lindsay and Clay won't eat it, and this means just basically more for me. So I'm okay with it.
We're exercising self-control.
Well, I'm exercising, eating, you're helping of it.
Exactly.
So works
you
out
can
for
have
me.
all my extras.
So we talked about this at the very, very beginning of the show. Pet owners are going to possibly have a new way to block out the noise that their animals don't want to hear. This will be huge for my dogs.
Fireworks. Plus, put the phones down and listen. You might not know your family as well as you think you do. Coming up, the findings of new research at the University of New England and the board game that can help. What's up?
All righty. What is going on? Face of the book. Let's see what we got here.
I'm forcing you to look at baby pictures.
Yes! Yay. You never have to force me to look at pictures of Luca.
Look at his friggin' hair.
Look at those cheeks.
Look at the Elvis curl.
I know, he's really
got
got
like some 50s doo-wop.
He's got pomade now, so.
He should be hanging out with like his hands over a barrel with a fire, singing some doo-wop on the street corner there. He's got it going on.
Tina got the hiccups, I think. That's no fun.
Oh boy, Paul likes your dress, see?
Thank you. Joe's in a food coma.
Oh, Joe. Joe, what'd you bring for the potluck?
So yeah.
Can you hear the commercials?
No.
Hey Seth, can we hear the commercials?
Hey Jeff Simpson. Hey Pam.
Can we hear the commercials? Please.
Thanks guys. Hi Fred.
Joe, you forgot to bring for the potluck and they still let you take part?
What potluck do we speak of?
Joe had potluck at work, but he didn't bring anything.
Oh.
It's not potluck if you don't bring.
All right, so we want to know what you guys think about this pet kennel invention. Whose dog goes crazy when the fireworks are going? Whose dog goes crazy when someone walks by the window? Whose dog goes crazy when you're trying to vacuum or mow the lawn?
Well, but the problem is I don't put my dogs in a crate, so but that alone would drive my dogs nuts, being in a crate.
Oh, so then that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I would like to find some. I'd like to get some doggy headphones.
Yeah.
During 4th of July, because fireworks and dogs, it's just not good. I mean, I can't even accurately describe what happens to my husky when there are fireworks. Like, I mean, it's unhealthy. I'm worried she's going to actually have a heart attack.
Yeah.
She gets so
poor husky.
Freaked out and panicked that she tries to scratch her way out of the house. Like, she just can't.
She dug that hole that one time in your backyard and you had to go home.
In one of my doors. Like, she tried to get through a door. She was in the house and we were home and she still couldn't handle it. So
basically, we're about to tell you about this invention, but essentially, we'll give you the early scoop. It's a crate that cancels the noise outside the crate so your dogs can chill. But I guess it only works if your dog likes the crate.
Yeah. One of our favorite dogs on the Now Show got to go home today. Sully H.W. Bush got a hero's welcome on Long Island, the spot where he was born and trained. The 2.5-year-old lab came to President Bush during the last 6 months of his life after the death of his wife, Barbara. Today, he showed off some skills he used with the president, like pushing an electric button when the former president needed assistance. In February, Sully will go to Walter Reed Medical Center in Washington to help comfort veterans.
Now, this is something for my household, I think maybe yours as well. It's just a prototype for now, but a noise-canceling dog crate from Ford Motor Company is generating buzz. It's estimated that about 50% of dogs show some sign of fear or distress when they hear fireworks or thunder. The auto manufacturer is using similar technology found in some of its European cars to protect canine ears from extreme noises like those fireworks. Microphones built inside the kennel can detect loud sounds that are counteracted using opposing sound waves. However, keep in mind it's still just a concept product and they're not being produced for purchase at this time.
Yeah, I would be thunderstorms, fireworks, all of that. My dogs don't like any of that stuff. All right, if you're a Harry Potter fan, here's something you will actually very much like. You'll be happy. It's a brand new coffee shop which recently opened in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's not just for wizards. The Coffee Muggle is a complete Harry Potter themed coffee shop where a lot of merchandise is donated from the community. The owner is hoping to expand the menu in the next few weeks.
I love this video today. I hope you saw this too. Did you see this?
Bit of it, yeah.
Okay, you guys are about to see it too. Macaulay Culkin is home alone once again. This time he's all grown up, and the gadgets that we have today are there as well. The actor stars in a Google Assistant's holiday ad inspired by the classic holiday film. The ad follows a similar plot to the Christmas comedy, with Culkin waking up in an empty home alone, and he uses his Google Assistant to help him with all the things you would expect him to do while he's home alone, like to fend off those home burglars and such. A trip down memory lane.
Didn't see Daniel Stone or Joe Pesci running by, slipping on marbles or anything outside.
Stepping on broken ornaments. I know, all the feels this holiday season.
Still a funny movie.
Yeah, Alexa, break ornaments for me. Oh no, wait, I have my dogs to do that. All right, well, we've heard of board games that teach children about all sorts of things, but how about teaching them about the people they know? We're going to take a look at what's happening at the University of Maine.
And we've got our own guy who likes to play games. It's Keith. He's coming up with that wet and wild forecast coming up.
The University of New England, not me. I misspoke. University of New England, not University of Maine. Again, I'm 2 for 2.
The University of New England will be getting $125,000 for each
exactly.
for each one of its doctors.
Exactly. Oh, I go to my desk. Bye. I know, sorry.
Just like that.
I know. Bye.
Are you by yourself here?
Yeah.
So can I go home?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys, you're stuck with me. Let's see.
Oops. So.
I know, right? If they had one for.
I should have a fun little background here that we can use.
So.
Perfect.
I've
yes.
got 4 dogs.
Oh,
the little
awesome.
dog is a Lassipoo. He will bark at pretty much anything. People walking by the house, other dogs barking, thunder.
Yep.
The mailman. I think that's obvious. I think every dog does that. So it doesn't matter. He'll hear himself bark and he'll bark back at himself. So he's little and he just barks. Then I've got a golden retriever. He doesn't really mind fireworks. He doesn't do thunderstorms. Thunderstorms, he is crying. He hates the thunder. Then I've got a husky.
Sweet.
She doesn't mind the thunder. She doesn't do fireworks. Fireworks, I mean, she legit freaks out and wants to escape from inside of the house to just run. And then we've got a lab, and she barks when everybody else is barking. So I don't know that any of those things really individually bother her, but once all the other dogs are barking, she just doesn't want to be left out. So she barks too. So yeah, it's a good time. Hey, where'd you get your dress? Well, she was doing something.
Do you want us to start
You've
on
got
the
a question
monitor or
about the
anything
dress.
like that?
No, it's okay. I got it at an online consignment store called ThredUp.
ThredUp. It's an online consignment
It's a consignment store. Secondhand store.
Joe, did you watch the whole story though, or did you just like see the very beginning? Because it was cool to
30
see Abigail
away.
15 years ago and how she's doing.
Of course, the printer's going off right next to you.
I know.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Right. Stand by for Lindsay.
The holidays are a time we spend with our loved ones, our family. How well do you think you know them? Your mom, your dad, your grandparents, or your kids? If you answer pretty well, you might be pretty surprised by some research done at the University of New England.
The one food I will never eat is...
On a college campus in Portland. You'd think it's all fun and games. This board game, though, is meant to be played with the people you think you know best. That's according to Tom Muser, the founding director of the Center for Excellence in Aging and Health at the University of New England.
No matter how well you think you know your parent or your parent knows you, there's probably more room for conversation.
He and his team of students created Family Get Together and tested the prototype Wednesday.
My students and I have interviewed over 350 older adults about their life stories.
More than a decade ago, he started researching how parents and children view one another. No matter how well you think you know your mom or dad or kids, his findings prove otherwise.
If you think about a Venn diagram with two circles, the parent and the child, you put the two circles, the overlap. In this research, we've done 2 rounds of it, and I've asked the parents and children to predict about how much overlap is there going to be. Oh, and most say, 50%, 75%. The average is less than 25%.
4 categories help players navigate ways to start a conversation about the things we can only imagine and the topics tough to imagine.
It is important that we know things about each other related to how we feel about death or end-of-life care or what we want done for us as far as health care and so forth.
My current internship is at hospice, so I spend a lot of time at the Vermont Respite House, and I'm seeing families engaging in these discussions often in kind of rushed ways right at the end.
Whether to start serious conversations sooner or share a laugh with the people we love most, it's a game where everyone wins.
And the Center for Excellence in Aging and Health opened this fall at UNE.
Okay, we got something for you now which just screams, "That's so Maine." This guy. He screams, "That's so Maine."
So we're
That's so
moderating.
wet.
Tomorrow looks good. And then, is my mic off? Hold on. Tell me it is.
Do you know how long
Yeah.
a lot of us have
there we
prayed
go.
to not be able to hear you?
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Sorry.
If you ask, you shall receive.
I learned to turn it off at certain times. All right, let's just look outside. Let's just go right to the weather then. I don't have time for this. 36 in Portland today, 35 in Wiscasset, in the 20s into the mountains. A recovery compared to yesterday, and of course the winds settled too. That was the real problem yesterday. It was cold, yes, but the wind chill was brutal. Radar clean. It was a nice sunny day across most of the state. If we zoom out, there's our next storm system developing down across Louisiana right now. And, you know, a lot of nor'easters start down here as well. This one, though, will kind of bring its southern air with it before it gets here, and that will give us the rain on Friday night, and into at least the first half of Saturday. We do have, though, a quiet night tonight. Temperatures not overly frigid. As I mentioned, the air mass is changing overnight, so it's getting a little bit warmer. That offsets at least what would be your normal overnight cooling. And then tomorrow is a good-looking day through the first half of the day, at least around 40 degrees. Clouds start rolling in here into the late afternoon, into the evening, and then after a brief few pellets of sleet in spots, we go over to rain starting overnight Thursday into Friday morning, and it rains heavily at times during the day on Friday into Friday night. Temperatures soar into the mid and even upper 50s along the coastline, upper 40s to around 50 as you head into the mountains. That continues through Saturday morning, and then we transition from rain to rain showers to some snow showers in the mountains on the back end here on Saturday afternoon. But this is a rain event, and it will do a lot of damage to snowpack. We'll talk more about that in a second. Rainfall amounts, so up to 2 inches, perhaps even a little bit more. That's why we do have a flood watch in effect over the southern half of the state, and again, that will likely be extended to down East Maine and northern Maine, because everyone's going to get a lot of rain, and we all have the same problem that it will come with melting snow. Now, winds will be strong too, especially overnight on Friday. They start a little gusty during the day. Friday night, early Saturday morning, there's the potential at least for wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour out of the south. So, you know, that's right on the line of whether or not we'll have significant power outages. I think we should come on just shy of a big power outages, but still very windy Friday night through Saturday morning with that rain. And watch this, snowpack now, snowpack with the rain, the warmth, and wind actually is a factor when it comes to eating away snow as well, guys. That's raindrops for another day, isn't it? That's the main feature. So, you know, it's one of those situations where if you took just the temperature on its own, you can look at that, you say, oh man, it's going to be like 55 to 58 on Friday. However, it is not exactly with nice weather in there. Maybe a flurry Monday. The Christmas miracle snow is looking less and less likely. Christmas itself, though, looks good. right around freezing, quiet. And yeah, so we ride out after this storm on Friday.
So
All
55 is not going to be so sweet.
No, I mean,
Not all
it'll be
it's cracked
warm,
up to
but
be.
It's going to melt the snow and ice out of my driveway.
Right.
So that's really what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So saves me some work.
I get it. You left it after the last storm?
You told me to. Yeah.
You never
He
listened to me.
listened. Even with your microphone off, he listened.
Never listened to me.
All right. So, you know we love the That's So Maines. You're driving around and you go, oh my gosh, look at that. That is so Maine. Well, we got one sent to us today from P. Liddy, sending it in from Route 108 in Heartland. The sign has jokes. How does a fish get high? Seaweed. Get it?
It's pretty timely.
If you see something that reminds you of our great state, use that. Hashtag.
There you go.
That's so
I see what you did there.
Maine.
Pretty timely with all the medical cannabis and the new rules and regulations that are being rolled out across our state and our New England region.
There you go.
Okay, a lot more coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Cindy Williams is here with a preview. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, guys. Congress is scrambling to avoid a partial government shutdown. The deadline is this Friday. It looks like lawmakers are close to a deal, but the question is the president on board with it? We're going to have that. A lot of people have seen this video with a glitter bomb, which is designed to stop porch pirates. But some law enforcement officials say this could actually be dangerous, as much fun as it is to kind of watch them get got. But anyway, we'll have more on that at 5:30. Back to you.
That is so fun to watch. It's like mesmerizing. Ooh, very cool. All right, brain drops when we come back.
All right. See that?
Seaweed.
Get it?
Womp, womp, womp.
Get
oh,
it?
what you doing? What you doing over there, Lee?
Reading the old Facebook of the comments. What you doing? What you got?
If you guys only knew what
you got?
just doing.
A little irony. Just checking out some online irony, that's all. Just like Alanis Morissette. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on Friday.
It is. Better than snow, Dave.
I'm with you. You all know how I feel about that.
Carrie, thanks for thinking we're funny.
But I do really want to have some snow on Monday. What? I wanted there to be snow, a little bit of snow on the ground for Christmas.
For Christmas? That would be nice.
Although
ooh, Raindrops looks like Space Mountain.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Christmas when my daughter got to go on the deck and I shoveled the path so she could go in the little stand-up floaty pool and be in her splashing around in the water because it was so hot on Christmas. 2012.
So speaking of the flood alert, did your
that
phone?
couldn't have been 2012 because she would have been 13, 2 days old. 2013. So yeah, that's more likely.
Did your phone make a ding when you got the flood alert today?
No, only because I never have my phone on the volume.
Yeah.
So.
You know the alerts that ding, like regardless of whether you have your volume on your phone, like it's like a flash flood warning.
Oh yeah.
But it dings even if you have it on the vibrate or
well,
silent?
if
it's serious enough.
Oh, okay.
So we all got one while waiting in line for Space Mountain, basically while we were here.
Yeah, this is in North Korea.
At Disneyland.
But that's okay.
Oh, okay. This looks like Space Mountain in Disneyland.
Yeah.
But we were all waiting in line, and everybody's phones went boop. It was so scary.
Probably severe thunderstorm
It
or
was
something.
so.
Almost as scary as if you'd actually gone to North Korea.
They don't let too many people in. I'm surprised you got in there.
Yeah, surprised.
She just told them who she was.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we love journalists. Come on over. Yeah.
And she was able to smuggle in 3 extra people on each side. So she's walking in like this.
I flew there because these are parachutes.
It was cheaper.
Paula has a sweater like that has like, it connects down here, and I call it her flying squirrel suit. And she can just jump out the window.
None of you probably remember Stevie Nicks, but she would wear
I know Stevie Nicks.
She was in Fleetwood Mac, and she was a solo.
I know her from American Horror Story.
Kind of a big deal. Oh boy.
Do we have a camera here?
I could get this. The camera's having issues, as you can see.
Okay. All right, camera issues. All right, today's brain drops. So science, as you know, I'm a fan of, but it can be used for nefarious purposes. And this is really interesting. NPR had this exclusive today. So this is actually in North Korea. Kim Jong-un built this science complex because scientists are highly revered in North Korea for obvious reasons. One is they don't get any other, they have to build all their own stuff, right? They're pretty much embargoed from everybody. So specifically, what's been happening and the way they've been getting around some of these sanctions is by scientific collaboration. So let's go to our next graphic here. The reason I'm showing you this is they're doing scientific collaborations with China and a couple of other nations. And they did one, for example, on truck steering and on active steering with a couple of axes. So how that would prevent car crashes, whatnot. That was the premise. However, trucks don't use active steering. It's too heavy, it's too expensive. Guess what does use active steering and showed up in their military parade shortly thereafter? So what's happening here is in the exchange of scientific ideas, they're actually using it to help their nuclear program along. Let's go to the next one. And China, of course, unwillingly is getting involved in this. Look at the number of collaborations and what they've been about. Engineering. All the way. So this is just an interesting case study. By the way, the United States very heavily vets any studies that are done with North Korea because we see this coming. But they may be making advances because they're working with other scientists and things that aren't about nuclear weapons, but they are
really good for anybody. Engineering, biology,
right.
physics, and chemistry. That's
right.
not a great combination.
Yeah, so they're kind of using science against the rest of the world at this point. It's kind of interesting. NPR has more if you're interested.
Thanks for
in
the
this.
big pick-me-up.
Yeah, cool.
News 7 Maine at 5:30 starts right now.
Coming up next.
It's fine. Nothing to worry about.
I'll see you tomorrow.